Welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Today we're talking Fast, talking Furious, talking Marvel again, reviewing Black Panther and of course its connection to the Fast and Furious franchise. Or maybe not for this one, we'll see. Black Panther picks up where Captain America's Civil War left off, but I think some of this is actually contemporaneous with Civil War. Bucky ends up in Wakanda in cryosleep after Civil War. But when exactly does he arrive? Because this scene looks like T'Challa's first arrival back in Wakanda after his father's death. Or maybe this is just his return from a different trip on his coronation day. I don't know, nor do I really care. It's just a timeline detail. But it takes place right after Civil War. The Wakandan king, T'Challa's father, has been killed. T'Challa takes over as king, but not before a challenge to ritual combat by the leader of the mountain tribe, M'Baku. T'Challa wins the challenge and re-imbibes the heart-shaped herb, becoming Black Panther once again. T'Challa struggles with the future direction of Wakanda, particularly the destiny of its wealth and power, so far successfully hidden away from the outside world. As king, T'Challa immediately faces a tough decision. It is regarding Ulysses Claw, who years earlier broke into Wakanda, stole vibranium, killed several members of the border tribe, and caused trouble with the stolen vibranium. T'Challa decides to bring Claw back to Wakanda, cue up a chase scene in South Korea. Claw is captured, then escapes, but only with the help of Killmonger, our true villain. Killmonger's past is hinted at. T'Challa picks up that hint. Returning to Wakanda without Claw but with the injured Ross creates a tension between Wakandan traditionalists, including Wakabe of the border tribe and King T'Challa. Meanwhile, Killmonger kills Claw and shows up with his body at the Wakandan border, earning the trust of Wakabe, whose parents were killed by Claw. Killmonger is brought to T'Challa, where he reveals himself as an unknown member of the royal family and challenges T'Challa for the throne through ritual combat. Killmonger wins, apparently killing T'Challa, and becomes king in Black Panther. He immediately sets about on a warpath, determined to use Wakanda technology to overturn the world order and free oppressed people. T'Challa is recovered from the mountain tribe, who found him, took him in, and saved him. He imbibes the heart-shaped herb and returns to lead a ragtag group against Killmonger. T'Challa wins, and Killmonger is killed. T'Challa determines to reach out to the world and share Wakanda's wealth and technology, rather than keep it hidden away as his ancestors chose to. Now for a review. This one is a hard one to review, because it was pretty good. Problems are easier than praise, so it's not easy. The movie had perfect pacing, good reveals, good action that drove the plot forward, a good and well-executed message, a proper character arc for the hero, a good villain, and a satisfying ending. I have a few small gripes to discuss, and another more interesting issue, which I'll explain in a standalone video later. As far as small issues, they're small. As one example, it is unclear why Killmonger is working with Claw at all. I initially thought it was because Claw knows how to get into Wakanda, and Killmonger needs in. But then Killmonger kills Claw, gets into Wakanda on his own. It seems that Killmonger only needs Claw's dead body, because he knows that will get him past the border tribe and into Wakanda safely. If this is the case, why didn't he just kill him as soon as he saw him? These little issues don't matter because, as I said, the pacing of the movie is perfect. One thing making this movie unique is that there are no side plots. Everything is dedicated to the main plot. T'Challa's arc from dedication to the past Wakandan kings and their way to making his own way as Wakandan leader while dealing with two separate violent challenges to his power. There is very little distraction from this through line. This is unique and I'll come back to it later. Now, to get into it, the one thing that really bothers me about this movie is how quickly Wakabe turns on King T'Challa when Killmonger arrives. I just can't believe this turn. Earlier in the movie, King T'Challa faces no challenge from Wakabe or anyone else from the four tribes, only a challenge from M'Baku of the mountain tribe. He has the backing of everyone, it seems. The country is shown as idyllic, utopian, and unified under T'Challa. Wakabe and T'Challa hang out at Wakabe's rhino farm together for no apparent reason other than that they like one another. Then, bam, Wakabe says screw it all. Of course, Okoye, head of the Dora Milaje, is loyal to King Killmonger too, but that is after the challenge, after he wins and becomes the rightful king.
I am loyal to that throne, no matter who sits upon it.
But she is at least shown as torn over the matter. Not only is Wakabe not shown as torn about his loyalties at all after Killmonger becomes the rightful king, but he is supportive of Killmonger before and during the challenge. A full turnabout of his loyalties, simply because Killmonger showed up with Claw's dead body. I can't give Wakabe that little loyalty to T'Challa, whom he's known his entire life. And now, apropos of nothing, back to the movie's lack of side plots. If you wanted to add a side plot, what would it be? I have one in mind. It revolves around Okoye, Wakabe, T'Challa, and his father, T'Chaka. And it'll also cover the issue I have with Wakabe turning on T'Challa so abruptly. As background, I've always thought that Claw showing up on Wakanda's radar as soon as T'Challa becomes king was a bit too much of a coincidence. Isn't the timing odd that just after T'Challa becomes king, Claw pops up and is located after all those years? I mean, we had this whole movie. He was dealing vibranium here and nothing. He knows this Korean lady quite well, so he's likely been there for some time, perhaps since the events of Ultron, but still, nothing? I think it's odd, and I think there could have been some conspiracy going on within Wakanda. I think it's possible that Okoye, in league with her partner Wakabe, whose parents were killed by Claw, was tracking Claw's whereabouts all along, and thus his location had been known to the Dora Milaje, or at least to Okoye, for some time. The information was kept from the king and T'Challa because they knew the aging King T'Chaka would not act on it. But why? Could Wakabe and Okoye have known King T'Chaka had something or some information to hide, perhaps related to the king's brother's death and rumors of a child left behind, and that going after Claw might lead to that information being revealed? This is our side plot. Okoye, who is from the border tribe, and Wakabe, her partner and fellow member of the border tribe whose parents were killed by Claw, have been sitting on the information about Claw's location, waiting for the right time. In their minds, doing this is in the best interest of Wakanda because they have reason to believe that King T'Chaka won't act on the information. He has something to hide, instead leaving Claw to remain at large. Okoye and Wakabe intend to wait until the more proactive T'Challa is king, believing he will do the right thing and go after Claw. And they make the right read about T'Challa. He is willing to go after Claw, but Claw escapes, which unfortunately sends T'Challa and Wakabe down such opposing paths.
Where is Claw?
He's not here.
This side plot would add some needed internal tension to the film. As is, the world of Wakanda is presented as fully idyllic and frictionless. This known plotting would upset that just enough to explain Wakabe's quick turn, but leave Okoye's loyalty and integrity intact. Okoye and Wakabe knew all along something T'Challa didn't know. Maybe it was just rumors about the prince's death. Maybe it was just rumors about the child, but it was something. A lingering bad feeling about King T'Chaka, that he wasn't being fully honest with his people about his brother's death and the aftermath. And that something in the death of Wakabe's parents by Claw was enough to lead Wakabe to turn on his own king. That's the best I can do to review this one. There's not much to say. What do you think about my addition to the plot? It's not much more than a couple short dialogue parts between Okoye and Wakabe, but I think it would really help justify Wakabe's character. In my next full video, I'll cover my real change in this movie. It should be a good one, so stay tuned. Until next time, this is Talking Fast, Talking Furious.